Did Adam Copeland's pep rally restore the feeling?
Could Thunder Rosa beat Tony Storm's understudy and earn a shot at the belt?
And was Swerve Strickland able to sign his name on the dotted line and punch his ticket to Dynasty, or did the Samoan submission machine choke him out beforehand? All that and more on this week's episode of Dynamite. Hit it, Dave!
Hey, Daver here. Welcome to the show.
Hey, this guy's Chad.
And Chandler's back as well. How we doing, Dave?
We're doing pretty darn good. Thank you two for joining tonight. Got an episode of Dynamity?
Yeah.
To review. Pretty good episode. I'm not going to focus on the ratings, which I looked at. 752, not too great. But yeah, I think
more than we get.
The WWE is definitely, WrestleMania, Road to WrestleMania is taking a lot of focus off of the wrestling world right now. So I'm going to contribute it to that.
Yeah, I can see that, but there's always such a huge magnifying glass on WWE, especially from January to April, but especially right now. This is literally WrestleMania week, so I hate to say it, nothing else really matters. Even though this was a great episode of Dynamite, doesn't matter. WrestleMania is in a few days, so everyone's thinking about that. But there were some pretty spicy news stories that actually happened.
What's in the news?
I think we should start immediately, especially because they started it immediately on Dynamite. We got to talk about that CM Punk interview. So we don't need to go all the way in it, but do you guys both know what he said? Or
oh yeah. That was very, very all anyone was talking about for a hot minute.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, CM Punk had an all-inclusive interview with Ariel Helwani. I can't remember what the name of it is, but it's Ariel Helwani's podcast. He did a very in-depth interview, and Punk actually gave answers on Brawl Out, Brawl In, his relationship with Tony Khan, what he thinks about him, and he said a lot of very fiery things about AEW, and I think one of the biggest things I took away, which I hate to say it, it's not like I'm on Team Punk or anything. I'm not on anyone's team except for Cody Rhodes. But it seems like CM Punk really didn't like how it was run. He was like, I want to be in here for a business. I want to draw. And according to him, that's not really what they're trying to do. And he said Tony Khan is a bad boss, but a nice guy, which I don't know. What do y'all think about the whole interview? What do you think about those comments? It's very fiery for so close to WrestleMania, and I don't think this is a coincidence because you're gonna have Punk do a big interview like it just makes sense to have this happen. But what do y'all think?
I mean, I don't think it did much damage to AEW's image, or as much as people may think. He doesn't work there anymore, which makes me take what he says kind of with a grain of salt. Yeah, things didn't work out there. He didn't leave the company on the best of terms, so I'm not surprised. And I kind of understand maybe where he's coming from. He's real old school as far as the business, and Tony Khan and the Elite maybe have a newer, fresher, different take on how, wrestling should be done. So he might have a point there. It's just his opinion of whether it's good or bad. That's up to him.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I mean, I listened to that, or I didn't listen to the video, but I read everything about it. It didn't hamper my opinion of AEW. I still enjoy the show just as much as I did before I heard about this. It's just kind of like insightful, It's like his podcast he did about WWE in 2014, right? Do I hate WWE now? No. Do I know a lot more than I kind of wish I did know? Yeah. So, but I like your take, Dave. Take it kind of with a grain of salt because at the end of the day, it's just one guy. What about you, Chad? What did you think?
Yeah, yeah, yet again, I took it with a grain of salt. Kind of sort of might agree a bit about the Tony Khan stuff. Yeah, to be in that kind of a position, you can't really afford to be nice all the time. Although Cody Rhodes did an interview later on too, where he talked about as they were building the company, their idea of like guaranteed money over putting asses in seats and stuff, like basically giving a payment based on your drawing power, was kind of one of the core fundamental ideas to sort of like, make an even playing field and make it for like just a better working environment. So, like Dave said, they're trying new things. They're trying to make, like, let's see, like, does this work? Is this a good idea? So, uh, yeah, not for him. Clearly, it wasn't for him. It was a bad fit, but and that's fine. He seems to be thriving in AEW or WWE now. From all accounts, backstage he's doing fine. Shoot, uh, his promo there on the other Monday, that was amazing.
Yeah, I loved every single bit of that segment. Drew and Seth hang in there too, but Punk was fantastic. But just to kind of close this off with like what I thought, of course, it's entertaining because CM Punk can twist anything and make you believe him. So I thought it was an entertaining little bit of news. If anything, I don't think AEW needed a response about it, and I don't. We'll talk about Copeland's speech when we get to it. It did not work for me,
Brother.
because I didn't need it, right? Like I was like, oh, it's Dynamite, right? Time to watch it. Like I wasn't even thinking about the Puck promo. I didn't think about anything he said. So
No, same. Like all the stuff he was saying in the promo, we're great, blah 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 blah. Like, show don't tell.
yeah,
Just be awesome. You don't have to like talk about how awesome you are. Just be awesome. Give me a good show.
Put all your effort into this Dynasty pay-per-view and make it a banger one. It looks like it so far, but that's just on paper, right? We'll have to get there and find out. But other than that, we don't need to talk about Punk anymore. We just can put him in the thumbnail now. What else? What other news is out there?
Ooh, is that the thumbnail? Me and Dave were trying to figure that out earlier.
Punk and Copeland on one side, so it's they're angry, they're fighting each other.
Done.
See, I was almost thinking put the Punk is all elite logo up, but then have not in a really small letters up there.
Love it. Yeah, we got a 10 AEW / Ring of Honor talent let go. Two of them, of course, being two of the best talent of our generation. The boys.
These boys are homeless. They have no food.
Who's
they
gonna feed the boys?
Who's feeding these boys, Tony Khan? You can't just release them without this information. I will adopt them where they are. I will adopt them. Okay. Oh, this makes me sad.
Yeah, Dasha Gonzalez, Jose the assistant, Parker Bordeaux, Slim J, a couple others.
That's what I don't remember.
Wasn't there Stu Grayson?
He was in. Yep, yeah. Stu. Slim J was in the. Man, what were they called? The faction with. Golly, I can't even remember. They were like rich trust fund kids or something.
Oh, that was real short lived.
Yeah.
It was like what, one and a half segments?
Yeah. But yeah, apparently the boys, Tony Khan said that they had no-showed a few times, which kind of added to the reason why they were let go. Apart from Anthony Henry, who has a broken jaw right now, let go while injured. Not the coolest thing to do.
Yeah, not a good look.
But
On the other hand,
JD Drake is still
yeah,
there.
everyone's immediately. Yep.
I'm not saying you should have
Yeah.
released the other guy. I just think it's odd to release one half of a tag team. That doesn't make any sense to me. It'd be like if they released Mark Davis right now. Because, oh, well, Kyle Fletcher's doing stuff. You're not. Like, huh? But I think Aussie Open's a little bit higher on the pecking order than the Workhorsemen, unfortunately.
Debatable.
Debatable.
I mean, none of them are the Outrunners.
None of them are the boys. None of them are Midnight Heat. We'll get that out there.
And the kind of a silver lining somewhat is they're all free agents. There was no non-compete. And it was kind of like put as if, we didn't have really plans for these people. It wasn't fair to keep them around and not, a business savvy move. So, I get it. I mean, he did say, Tony Khan, that he would never do mass releases like the WWE. So I don't know. I'm not knocking him for it. It's not the coolest thing to do.
I think that was before he shelled out a lot of money for Osprey and then Okada and then Monet. He probably said that when the most he was paying for was one CM Punk. But I bet you he just signed 3 CM Punk contracts at once. So he went, you know what? I don't think we need Stu Grayson or Anthony Hendry. And it's. I'm not saying that they should have been released. I don't think that, but it's unfortunate, and I hope they're able to find somewhere good. I'm hoping they can land on their feet pretty soon. There's plenty of places out there to wrestle right now. It's a pretty wide open game, so hopefully it doesn't take them too long.
Yeah, for sure.
Anything else though, or are we just getting into Dynamite?
Getting into Dynamite. I think I'm able to connect to my other internet if we want to make a little weird cut in this.
Sure, I'll do a star wipe. I've wanted to do a star wipe for a while.
Yeah. Let's do it.
Through the magic of television. Doodaloo, doodaloo, doodaloo.
Changing over my internet. Boom, boom.
There we go. That's better. I had my window open, so my light here wasn't, because I reflected off of my windowsill to hit me, so it wasn't reflecting well. But now it is. Yeah, the only important. Much better. Much better.
Dave?
Can you not hear him?
No.
Chad?
Hello?
Dave, you can hear me, right? Chad, I hear you. Hello?
Hi.
Oh, can you hear now?
Uh-huh. I can hear you.
Oh, not Dave?
No, Dave's just like straight up gone. He's not even in my thing.
Oh, he joined back.
Really?
Yeah, I saw him. That's why I was talking to him.
I don't see him at all. He's not in the control room. Oh, now he's popping back in.
He just left.
There he is.
Okay. We all can hear each other?
Uh-huh.
Good. Okay.
Hey.
Okay.
Less pixely, Dave.
Yeah. I want the intro to look good too. Glad I waited. All right. Cool. I guess whatever you're
I didn't stop
feeling good.
recording.
No, I don't see the light.
It's probably because you dipped and came back in.
Gotcha. All right, yeah, let's go ahead and get into Dynamite. We got Adam Copeland right off the bat here to rally the troops. A clear rebuttal to CM Punk's negativity towards AEW and Tony Khan. Um, in fact, he says there's been lots of negativity in the news this week. Screw that. He wants to talk about positives. I'm with him. He said he grew up watching the WWF, NWA.
Boo! Boo!
Somebody booed for some
And then he went,
reason.
hold on, okay?
Yeah, I like that. I like that. He's like, you're missing the point.
Mm-hmm.
Stampede out of Calgary. He watched Owen Hart start out. The BC All Stars from Vancouver. He goes on to say 9 years. He had pro wrestling torn away from him, and he realized AEW is where he wants to end his career. He can face people like Will Ospreay, Kenny Omega, Hangman, Swerve, Samoa Joe, Claudio, Moxley, Darby, FTR, the Young Bucks, Buddy Matthews, Brody King, and Malachi Black, which are all first-time matches. Yeah, that perked me up when he said that.
Yeah.
I want to see every one of those, or as many as possible. He said he's having the most fun he has had in his 32 years in the pro wrestling business. He celebrates AEW and the men who started it. The Bucks, Kenny, Cody,
Ooh, he said
Tony
the name.
Khan. Says AEW has pushed the industry in a better place. And AEW is where the best wrestle. That's their new slogan. Clearly, this is the fourth time I've heard it. Have you guys caught it yet?
No, it seems like something they would say, but it could be just their slogan because they're going to emphasize the wrestle because the only guy who gets to say they wrestle at WWE is Gunther. So makes sense.
Tony Schiavone said it a couple times. I like it because I equate it to where the big boys play,
Mm-hmm.
WCW. I'm all about a corny catchphrase. Um, yeah. What do you two think about the little pep rally we got here?
Well, we were talking about it in the news. I didn't need this because it's not like the Punk, because this is obviously a direct response to the Punk interview. Uh, I wasn't thinking about the Punk interview when I started Dynamite. I wasn't thinking about the Punk interview the next day. It was entertaining to read. It was interesting, but it's one guy's experience of an entire company. So, but if this made the people in the back happy, if this made Tony Khan happy, if this made the EVPs happy, if this made some fans happy, okay, that's fine. I did have a couple actuallys, so not to be the nerd here, but the biggest pop of this promo was for Cody, the guy who's not there. So that's one. Number two, Mercedes Moné didn't choose AEW because it's the best place. She chose it because WWE didn't want to foot the bill. And then C, Adam Copeland they didn't, WWE had nothing for him. They're like, we don't really want to do anything with you. So that's why he went to AEW. I don't even think they wanted to re-sign him, which is odd. I'll be honest, it's odd. But they let him go. So that's why, like, not to actually, I'm sure they do want to be there. And I'm sure everything else Adam Copeland said was true, which, yeah, AEW has changed the wrestling business for the better. And I'm sure he is having a ton of fun. And I love watching him in AEW. So, like, all of that is true, but it was kind of corny and I didn't really need it. How'd you feel, Chad?
Split. So, I feel like as a response to the CM Punk stuff, you're better off just no selling it. Put your chin up, and instead of saying, "Hey, we're a great place. Hey, we're really awesome," yada yada yada. Show don't tell. Just be awesome. Give me a good fucking wrestling show. Was it too early to start dropping f bombs? Yeah, we're like 20 something minutes in. We're fine.
We cut. We're good.
But yeah, like I don't know. For me, it's more just just do the thing. Don't tell me about it. But as a positive note, because I'm trying to be positive, I thought he was really friggin' good in front of the crowd. Like he had them in the palm of his hand. Like I think we're seeing the best version of Cope right now. Like he feels comfortable, he feels natural. Like maybe he's gotten used to the AEW environment, less scriptiness, more just be off the top of the cuff.
Yeah.
So because like take the CM Punk stuff out of the equation, and I really I enjoyed watching him as just a performer. So, yay and nay.
Yeah. I think that's fair. I think I'll just sit on the I don't think it was needed fence, but it was definitely well delivered. You know,
Yeah.
Adam Copeland is great, and he gave a great introduction for Will Ospreay, so that was pretty cool.
That was fun. That was a lot of fun. Wait,
Yeah, I
I
kind of
thought he
went
called
through
him
a.
Osprey.
He did. Yeah.
Ospreay,
I was going to
Ospreay.
ask you, Chad, if that was a Canadian thing.
No, that's just a dude that's been hit in the head a lot thing.
But yeah, I kind of went through a roller coaster. Like Chandler, I'm going into Dynamite. Like, oh, this is just Dynamite. Not thinking about CM Punk. And then Copeland comes out. I'm thinking, okay, another Cope Open leading up to a Cope Open. Okay. And then when he starts in and I realize what he's doing, I'm initially like, yeah, okay, yeah. And then when it was happening, I'm thinking, okay, this sounds good. Um, and then when it was over, I left with feeling like, okay, like it was delivered well, but maybe not 100% needed. Like kind of what we all.
Yeah. I really like Chad's idea where you're just show don't tell. Have a banger Dynamite, just keep on your path to Dynasty and like go all out with Dynasty because it's a new pay-per-view. People don't really know, like, oh, there's not really any expectations for it. People might assume it's just a B pay-per-view because spoilers, the last new pay-per-view they added wasn't very good. So people might expect that. So you just pull it all out, which is like the card looks fantastic. So I I don't think it was needed, but again, like the CM Punk interview, it's not like it ruined anything for me. It just was like, nah.
Yeah. And yeah, kind of like what you touched on here, Chandler. Copeland introduced Will Ospreay for his match against Will Hobbs. Both members of the Don Callis family. Uh, Man, Hobbs was not very friendly.
Ooh, yeah. The opening of
Um,
that match was pretty stiff.
yeah, man, we got Hobbs pouncing Ospreay across the ring. Will Ospreay crossbodied Hobbs from the ring to the outside. Uh, Don Callis calls Ospreay his golden goose. Or was it golden child or goose?
Probably Golden Child.
Uh, Will Ospreay gets dropped on the steel steps by Will Hobbs with a suplex. Uh, Hobbs slams Ospreay on the apron over and over and over and over. Hobbs fallaway slams Will Ospreay on the announce table. Will Ospreay slaps Hobbs. Hobbs gets furious and tells him to do it again, and then belly to belly suplexes Will Ospreay. Will Hobbs power scoop slams Ospreay for a 2 count. Ospreay hits the Oz cutter for a 2 count. Hobbs lariats Osprey into oblivion. Hobbs avalanche power slams Osprey for 2. And then Will Ospreay hits a sky twister. And when he landed, he hit Hobbs right in the head. Kind of reminded me of the Sammy Jeff Hardy situation, but apparently he was fine. Then we get a hidden blade for the win, and Hobbs is pissed. Callis had to whisper something in his ear, calm him down, and then on the way up the ramp, Danielson interrupts Osprey with his entrance. Came out before the commercial when he shouldn't have, apparently. So, yeah, I like that Danielson does that. He did that to Kingston.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's becoming one of my favorite things about Danielson when he steals the momentum of another person. It's like, nah, I'll take that. I'm Danielson. I'm good. But this was a pretty fun, hard hitting match, like you guys said. I loved that pounce early on. Like you said, that lariat that Hobbs gave Walt or Osprey, where it like killed him. Ooh, that was deadly. And I'm not kidding. When Hobbs hit that second rope greatest slam, I thought that was it. I know it makes no sense, but I was like, swerve, brother, Hobbs wins here. Like I just bought it for some reason. But
Oh yeah.
I thought the match was great. And then Osprey wins. And my favorite part about this was definitely the little bit at the end where Hobbs started attacking Osprey, like just started pushing him a little bit. So maybe we'll get some sort of Don Callis family dissolution. Like if I'm Booker Man here, I'd keep Takeshita with Callis because I think those two work together really well. And I think Takeshita needs a heel manager while he's a heel. He might be able to cut a good promo. I don't know. I've never heard it. So you at least need Don Callis for now. I think that's a good pairing. Where this thing started going down was when it was adding Hobbs and Fletcher and Guevara and Osprey. And it's not like any of those guys aren't great guys. It's just as a group, it hasn't really worked. So I think if you have Fletcher just go down to Ring of Honor to defend his title, and then when Mark Davis comes back, oh, hey, Ozzy Open's back. I'm fine with that. You have Hobbs go away and go on his own little tear. Osprey obviously elevates up the card, and you just keep Takeshita with Callis. That's what I would personally do.
Yeah, that's pretty well said. Yeah, as a match, I kind of just wish they led with this as maybe instead of the Cope stuff, because this is a great way to get into the show. Like, I actually believed that Osprey was in trouble. Like, for the first few minutes, it was like, oh man, he's getting handled easily. And even his win didn't seem as dominant as his other finishes. Like it felt a little more like he was throwing up the Hail Mary to kind of like, I need to not hit this or I'm done kind of a ending. You know, it wasn't a surprise roll up, but it was like his version of it, which is, I got to do the hit, I got to knock out the home run or I'm out. So it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm at the point now where any Will Ospreay match gets me hyped. I know it's going to be great, especially when it's, against Will Hobbs. You got the drama of them being in the same faction. You got the drama of, Hobbs being a big meaty monster to overcome. It's got so much going on. And then watching Will Ospreay do the amazing things that he can do. Just a win-win-win. Yeah, Copeland had it right when he said Ospreay is the future of the company moving forward. That's the truth.
Yeah, I think that would be a smart way to go. One thing, like, it's just one of those things where you really appreciate how over someone is that Osprey chant in the beginning with the crowd.
Yeah.
It gets me every single time. Like, I've been pretty honest. I don't really like the CEO chant because I'm not really a big fan of Monet right now. I think it's a little
it feels very manufactured.
Yeah, and I feel like I hear the theme more than I hear the people. When it's Osprey, they drown out that theme. It's like the Cody. It's not as big as the Cody Woe, but it's on its way to being the Cody Woe, if you know what I'm saying. So Ospreay's doing great, and I think they should probably center the company around him because he'll be fantastic for it.
Yeah. So would you say that when you get the Osprey chance, you feel maybe a little bit of adrenaline perhaps in your soul?
Something, Cody Rhodes. All right, on to Danielson and Archer already.
Real quick though, I think I'm gonna rally for Hobbs to take the international title off of Roddy. That's where I want that to go.
Ooh. Just have Hobbs just dismantle the entire Devil Dumpling gang while he's at it.
That'd be
Including
not
Wardlow.
Not Wardlow. My
Wardlow's
boy.
done. Wardlow's done.
No, he's not.
Send him to NXT.
No, he's better than that. When MJF debuts at WrestleMania, Wardlow will be there.
He'll be his heater all over again.
Yup, we're just starting back from square one, baby. Like AEW never happened.
And Sean Spears is there. He could be the accountability buddy again.
Oh my gosh, they're just gonna redo 2019 AEW.
They're gonna do the Pinnacle all over again.
Jericho's gonna get the title before Cody, and Cody's gonna have to fight
MJF will be there.
Oh my gosh, this is getting complicated.
We're gonna have Cody Island all over again, Chad.
Cody's gonna get whipped again.
He did. Didn't you watch Raw a couple weeks ago?
Yeah. Oh, again.
Again.
Oh my god. Oh man. Anyway, let's move on to the match that Danielson had against Lance Archer. This was actually a first-time match, believe it or not. We got Archer working over Danielson for a while until Danielson does a dragon screw to Archer. They made Archer look pretty damn powerful and threatening for a good few minutes of that match. But yeah, Danielson ended up targeting Archer's leg and knees, and Archer counters a tope from Danielson with a choke slam on the apron. Then he body slams a crew member onto Danielson. Archer goes for a rope walk, but Danielson knocks him off and racks him on the balls. Danielson gets Archer in the label lock, but Archer's long legs get to the ropes. Archer choke slams Danielson really hard, covers him for 2. Danielson counters the blackout with a choke. Archer throws him over his head. Danielson wins with 3 head kicks and a Busaiku knee. Fun, really great match. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, it was fun. I love the strange carnage that Archer can bring. It's kind of what he's known for, stuff like remember when for a while, like his entrance would usually have him just having some random dude from the back that he just throw out, and then he'd like come out and wrestle a match. Like that stuff just gets me every time. Yeah, him grabbing the poor local enhancement talent that just happened to look like a ring crew member to slam on top of him. That was like prime Archer. If you're unfamiliar with it, check out his New Japan work. It was really good and very evocative of that.
Yeah, I was actually going to say kind of the same thing where I really I know Lance Archer isn't one of my favorites. We don't see him a lot, but I really like his chaotic energy he always brings to the TV. Like, especially when he threw that security guy on top of Danielson. I thought that was so funny today. I really liked how Danielson went for a dragon screw early on, and Archer was able to counter by holding onto the ropes, but Danielson still was able to get another one anyways. I loved the little bit where Danielson was doing the yes kicks, and then Archer got a nasty choke slam on him. I loved that bit. And all in all, I thought this was a great victory for Danielson. It was, Ospreay and Danielson, 2 smaller but more technically gifted guys were able to get wins over big, meaty men. I thought that was a good story for this week. So it's keeping them on even playing fields. And just doing its job of getting me excited for the pay-per-view match.
Yeah, I love how they just keep finding new ways to measure their PPs against each other. It's great. You know, first it was Shibata, now it's the big man. Like, what's next?
Maybe next week they'll just switch opponents again. Like it'll be Danielson and Hobbs and Osprey versus Archer.
Ooh, I'd be into that.
Fine with that. Cool. Yeah, great match. But after that, we get a Chris Jericho segment.
Yeah.
Lionheart Jericho wants to clarify something with Hook. He says, turn on the Hook signal. And they do. And here comes Hook. He has fought with everyone he has ever teamed with and wants Hook to believe in him as much as he believes in Hook. Hook agrees and says he has a match for them on Collision, but he'll be keeping an eye on Jericho. Right. Then immediately we find out who that match will be, and I'm pretty damn happy about it. Nice what's up?
They're gonna lose. They announced him, and I was like, I care so much more about it's Shane Taylor Productions, right? I care so much more about those guys than Lionhook right now. I thought this was so pointless. Like, why did my biggest thing out of this was A, Jericho still getting booed, and B, is Jericho a heel? Because he came out of the heel tunnel. Does he always do that?
I didn't notice.
Yeah, I didn't catch that actually.
I felt like he was taking a longer time. He came out of the heel tunnel. If you're looking at the stage,
He's old and he's really confused.
It's the one on the left, right? That's the heel tunnel. Yeah, that's what he came out of. So
no, the right. That's where Trent went when he left. I do remember that. Trent went out the right tunnel when he turned heel. I thought the left was good.
Maybe Trent's the face in the situation.
I don't know. Pac comes out the left one, or isn't he heel? Maybe we get this wrong.
Are we the baddies?
Yes, but
oh my God,
why wasn't this a minute-long backstage segment? Why did they have to go out there, and why did it have to be awkward? Like, what was the point?
And to really, okay, that part was kind of annoying. But the thing that really got my gears was the promo immediately after was Shane Taylor. Like, how they capitalize on it that quickly. Like, maybe they should have had some separation between the two, because it was like dibs. Like, I don't know, it felt like just a little, the pacing of it to me felt weird.
Yeah.
And I want either Jericho to cost them the match, or Jericho to turn on Hook and cost them the match.
Oh, you're dreaming. We all want Shane Taylor Productions to win this match. It is not happening.
Real bad.
Jericho's not even going to tag in Hook. He's just going to pack him and stack him.
That's true. No.
It's all right, guys. Shane Taylor and Lee Moriarty are going to lose till the cows come home, but they're going to earn their spot eventually.
They'll get up those rankings eventually, except the rankings are dead based on another segment coming up. So that, not to be all Brian Alvarez, that pissed me off. We'll get to it. But I was like, what's the point of these stupid rankings?
True. Yeah, so we got Jay White versus Billy Gunn here. I hated it. I thought it was stupid. Well, I don't think okay, so we're starting out here. He's actually Billy Gunn, not Daddy Ass. So that means he's tougher. I don't know.
Can I cut in for 1 second? I had no idea that AEW was calling him Daddy Ass this entire time. And so when we were watching Collision and it said Daddy Ass versus Jay White, my brain just melted. I was like, What? You're just putting that on TV? His name is Daddy Ass. I thought that was his nickname, but his name is Daddy Ass. And so
He
I
had
was
it
like,
legally changed.
I was just like losing my mind. And then it was like, oh, it is Billy Gunn. We can still call him Billy Gunn, but it's not. I actually enjoyed this match for the little poo-housery, but I'll get into the at the end. I want to know why you two hated it.
Okay, I hated it because it didn't look realistic for Billy Gunn to be able to pummel Jay White for that long, in my mind. And the finish was a complete shit show mess. Um, I feel like it is one of the rare times that the ref caught a low blow, which doesn't happen very often in AEW.
Or in
But
general, the refs are just terrible.
yeah, just the DQ, pointless, like, and they didn't even. It was so unfulfilling and unsatisfying that they didn't even get to do the move that they were gonna do on the announce table. The
Right.
little rat got away. So, yeah, Jay White should have looked stronger. He looked like a weak, like that hurt him, I think, like in my mind.
Is Jay White
Uh
finished? That's kind of my point. He's now lost to
Buried
a
him.
one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest, and now to a 60-year-old man that really can't move very much.
Yep. I think that buried him. So that's where I'm coming from.
I thought he was super entertaining. I thought he pulled it
No,
off.
he tries to make the most out of his situation. Like he does the job and he does it well. But
You know, I hate to say it, I'm still riding off the Continental Classic. Jay White looked great in that. So I'm like,
did.
nah, they could just reheat him. They just gotta do like he looked great against Darby Allin. He beat him. That was a pretty entertaining match. So I don't think he's washed, but I do see what you guys are saying, where Billy Gunn should not have been beating him down for this long.
no, and Billy Gunn had no sense of urgency. He would like kind of ineffectually throw him into the barricade a few times and then high five Kyle, I remember. Like, dude,
Well, what?
it was just it
Yeah,
looked so unbelievable. I'm sorry,
he'd,
but Billy Gunn, you are not elite.
My
he'd
fa-
do a move and go walk up like, haha, watch me kick his
Yeah.
ass, like, and then
Yeah, this is
wander back
Attitude
over.
Era WWF.
there's a reason. Okay, there's a reason
Has
why
anyone seen Hemorrhoids?
Billy Gunn is the hot tag, not the guy getting worked over. He's the hot tag. But I'm gonna tell my things I liked. My favorite thing on this entire show, it was Jay White's entrance. I was like, oh, this is really cool, right? Because it's the Jay White entrance, it's the Bang Bang. Like, it's probably my favorite entrance in wrestling right now. I love it so much. And then boom, there's Billy Gunn right in the background. I was like, no way! I bought it. I bought it so hard. So I was into it in the beginning. And then nothing happened until commercial break. Billy Gunn had Jay White in the ropes, and I liked how Jay White was like, ref, ref, ropes, ropes. Like he was screaming at the ref. I loved in the commercial break, Jay White was going for the scissors, and he was singing, oh, scissor me daddy.
That's
Oh,
good.
scissor. It was so funny. And then, I liked it when Billy Gunn hit the second famouser. He went, suck my dick as loud as he could. But
Did he
again, I
blur
don't
it
know
out
what.
on Fight TV?
No, I heard it. I heard all of
Yeah,
it.
they blurred it out on
No,
Hulu
I heard him go, you can suck
or
my
bleeped it.
dick. And so I was entertained by this match, but now that I hear you guys are saying it sucked. But I don't care. I was literally thinking
You were
like,
sports entertained.
I was like, man, this Jay White guy is so great. I never want Billy Gunn to retire. I was so into this match, and now I hear you two being like, "Oh, it was awful." I'm like,
No, I think that's part of why I disliked it so much is I love Jay White and I want to see such bigger things for him. I feel
yeah.
like they're doing him a disservice. I feel like the Acclaimed is kind of finished.
I like the Acclaim running down, but again, something else that I noticed that was kind of annoying. So they showed the Acclaim being beaten down. Billy Gunn didn't care. He didn't even look at the screen. It's like he didn't know. So that was kind of annoying. But it made the Acclaim to look good when they ran. It made them look strong, I would say. But I think this is just setting up the Dynasty Trios tag match. And I think Bang Bang Gang are going to win. And I think the Acclaimed and Billy Gunn might head over across the fence, if you know what I'm saying.
Really?
Ooh.
If you guys are saying the Acclaimed are done in AEW, and I kind of agree, Billy Gunn has got to go back at some point, right? Like Triple H is his best buddy. Wouldn't he want to retire in WWE and then have the Acclaimed walk in? Wouldn't that be a big moment? So I'm not
That would
saying
be-
anytime soon, but like maybe in a couple months or years or so.
Yeah, no, you gave me something to think about now. So I'm like, well, fantasy book that now.
If I'm on my, because there's always, oh, this person's in WWE is going to go to AEW when they're done, and this person in AEW is going to WWE. If I'm looking at that AEW to WWE list in my head, Ricky Starks is at the top, and not too far down is the Acclaimed. I don't know why. I just feel like they're gonna hop back.
Yeah, but I mean that's all after MJF goes, right?
We'll see.
I'm gonna die on this hill. I'm like 95% certain I'm wrong, but that 5% of me says if he fucking shows up on WrestleMania weekend, I'm gonna look like a genius. So I'm gonna die on this hill.
It's gonna be John Cena, Steve Austin, and The Undertaker, and you're gonna be like, "Where's MJF?
Yeah,
When's he coming out?"
yeah, exactly. The glass is gonna break. And I'm like, it's okay, but it's no MJF.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you want me to just kind of quickly go through the match real quick? No, we kind of went over
I
it.
think we got it. It
We
was a lot
covered
of
it.
Billy Gunn beating down Jay White for too much. I said the things that I thought were funny and made me enjoy the match, but you two just didn't enjoy it because it wasn't a good match, which makes sense.
And man, if they would have, okay,
To be
I
fair,
was entertained.
Chandler kind of swayed me a little now. I'm like, oh no, there was some stuff I actually did kind of like. Yeah, Jay White is kind of awesome.
Yeah, they're like, maybe it shouldn't have been a singles match, but it was fun.
I was entertained from the jump to about 3.5, 4 minutes in when I realized, like, man, Billy Gunn is really in control for too long at this point. Up until then, I loved it. And I got a kick out of a lot of stuff. Just the logistics of it, the motivations and whatnot.
Your
Look,
belief was not suspended.
the
Yeah,
Bang Bang Scissor Gang was good for like 2 weeks, and that was in January. And here we are now in April.
and if they would have hit whatever move they were going for, that would have sealed the deal for me firmly in the loving the match column.
I think
Also,
that's fair. I think that's fair.
yeah. Anyway, we get the Young Bucks entering the arena, and then we show the Best Friends and Orange Cassidy arriving with Sue.
It's Sue. I didn't know that Tony Schiavone did the Sting thing for Sue. That was pretty funny.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Everybody loves Sue, man.
The matching track suits were pretty goated.
Maybe not
Killed
Trent
me.
anymore, am I right? Spoilers.
Yeah. But before that, we get a pretty good and passionate Willow promo that I pretty
Oh,
much loved until I didn't. Yeah, she comes out. One quick thing, I loved the camera angle where they were not doing the promo facing the stage. It was the other way around where the ring and the crowd were in the shot in the background. That reminded me of, like, really old WWF, like where they'd have that weird platform where they do interviews in the middle
Yeah.
of like almost
Yeah.
in the middle of the crowd, and it
Mhm.
would that's what it reminded me of, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Uh,
I'll
kudos to
I'll agree. I loved this segment until I didn't.
yeah, we'll talk about that real quick. Uh, but yeah, Willow is delivering this really great with emotion. She says she used to wrestle in that town at the White Eagle. The crowd goes nuts. They cheer for whatever venue this is. She calls it her home away from home. They're loving every minute of it. They clearly like know her, I guess, from the independents, possibly. Um, she says every time she questions herself, the cheers reassure her. Stokely chimes in and puts her over, says she had a banger last week. And then interrupted by Mercedes Monet.
CEO,
Uh,
CEO.
The only one chanting it, including that crowd.
man, she wants the winner of Julia and Willow.
Wait, is
Okay.
it like the Dynamite after? Or the Collision after? Or is it Double or Nothing a month after?
She says Vegas.
It was Double or Nothing. She said Double or Nothing. So
Vegas, man. Is she cleared?
can
She's
they
not cleared.
say can they say she's not cleared? So we're not expecting her to wrestle?
Right?
Because I'll go off on this, right? Fantastic Willow promo. They never really let her shine like this because it's always backstage promos, and there's only so much you can do with those unless there's like really impactful or something really big. Like they just haven't really given Willow time to shine. But this was fantastic. And I had an epiphany. I was like, I would be way more excited for Willow versus Julia for the title if Monet had nothing to do with this. Because I would just go, yeah, Willow's gonna win the title. Hell yeah, that's cool. Like I like Julia being the champ, but I think her reign is kind of over. And I think Willow would do well with the title. But I think Willow's just going to be a transitional champion. So I don't really care. It's kind of how I felt like for a hot second about Joe. Because I was like, he might just be a transitional champion. But obviously not. He's had a fantastic run. But this and then she goes, oh, I'll fight the winner at Double or Nothing. Which does that mean her first match is until Double or Nothing?
Yeah.
I hope not. And then what happened to the rankings, guys?
Yeah.
Osprey didn't do this. Punk didn't do this. Okada didn't do this. At least Okada pinned the champ the week before, right? He did a match. He fought a match. He won. So this is 4 weeks now. Monet hasn't done anything, and they haven't said anything about her not being able to wrestle. So what gives? Like,
Just I got next for
yeah,
the title. Wait, what? But what about the other people? What about Sky Blue?
why did Takeshita have to fight Swerve last week? Why did why did Thunder Rosa and Mariah May, number 1 and 2 in this ranking, have to wrestle 20 minutes later so that they can decide who's fighting Tony Storm at the pay-per-view? But Monet just goes, I want to fight for the title. Like, I don't like this woman in AEW. She's got to start wrestling.
Okay, so I'll be devil's advocate here. The match wasn't announced, and technically there's time for her to earn it.
When? Start wrestling now. If you have
Yeah.
give her a match at Dynasty. She needs to be at Dynasty.
Yeah.
She needs to be at Dynasty.
Yeah,
She
have your
needs to
tune-up
fight
match. Have your version of
match.
CM Punk versus Darby Allin.
Osprey versus Takeshita. Yeah. Just throw in someone that can go and show off how fantastic this person is and that they can beat him. Yeah.
Deeb.
Yeah. Britt Baker, Serena Deeb. Hell, Lady Frost, Mariah May, any of these people, Chris Statlander. I keep going back to Chris Statlander. She's right there. Sky Blue, you get her into this goth shit. Like any woman, Queen Aminata, any woman on this roster, fight her at Dynasty.
Disco Inferno.
Yes. So we can see how good you are. Check out the WCW Halloween Havoc 1997 review.
synergy.
Retro view.
You get what I'm saying here, right? I lost my patience with the Monet on week 2, and once again, the women's world title scene I love right now. I think it's really interesting.
How dare you, sir, wanting a wrestler to wrestle?
I always enjoy the Toni Storm segments. I thought she was on fire this week, and the match was pretty fun. And I loved Toni Storm selling of Thunder Rosa winning. I loved everything about that match. And so now we're just like, why is that one being booked well and this one isn't?
Let it play out.
Writer.
Okay, I'll let it play out a little bit more, but I'm not like excited. You know,
So what's our time frame here for Dynasty? Like couple weeks.
So it's on the 21st.
And
a lot more than 9 days.
It's 14. It's 2 weeks from Sunday. 2 weeks from Sunday is when Dynasty is. You can announce a match for her on that Dynamite before, and I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
But you have to announce the match, right?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't like she's not Jade Cargill, and I hate saying that because it seems really rude, but that's a compliment to Mercedes Moné. Mercedes Moné is so good as a wrestler, she doesn't need conditioning. She can just go, unless she can't right now, which I feel like at this point, they should be honest with that. Hey, she's still injured, or hey, we can't really clear her right now because XYZ. Okay, thanks for telling us. Can't wait to watch her when she can, but
how would the being cleared or not affect her like doing that move she did to Julia when she like how's that come
I
into
don't
play?
know.
Like are you allowed to just like do one move or like
Punk was, and that's why she must not be injured.
Sometimes you're not allowed to take bumps, but you can actually do some stuff.
Yeah,
like there are conditions.
The Raw after the Royal Rumble, Punk's arm was in a sling because he tore his triceps. Drew McIntyre still beat him up. Like, you can work around an injured person. So I'm sure if it's like, I'm just throwing something out, a knee issue or an ankle issue, I'm sure Monet could have hit that move and not messed it up, and it would have been fine, right? Like, so I don't know. I'm kind of annoyed, and like it's sad because I would have been so excited about this Willow Julia match if Monet wasn't involved.
yeah, they need to do something quick with her for people to be reinvested for sure.
Yeah, she's just kind of a Karen right now.
Yeah. Wow. Good point.
But there were 2 women's segments on the show.
Ooh.
Technically.
But anyway, moving along here, we get a AEW tag team tournament. Which final are we at here?
This was
The
semifinal.
semifinal. Orange Cassidy and Trent with Chucky T and Sue versus the Young Bucks. Man, love the presentation of the Young Bucks now. The song, the facial hair, loving every bit of it. We got Orange Cassidy and Trent working over the Bucks for a few minutes until Matthew gets a Northern Light suplex on Trent, and Trent fights back, but the Bucks powerbomb him onto the apron. Matthew, let's see, leads us into picture-in-picture on the announce desk.
Awesome.
Yeah, that was cool. He said that means cut to picture-in-picture, you morons in the back. The Bucks take a turnbuckle pad off. Orange Cassidy tags in, Matthew fakes a super kick into a DDT to Orange Cassidy. The Bucks soft kick Orange Cassidy while in the EVP trigger position, and then they miss the EVP trigger, and OC gets them both in a swinging DDT. Orange Cassidy gives Nicholas a diving DDT, covers for 2. Trent and Orange Cassidy give Matthew a lazy pile driver. Matthew almost super kicks Sue. She slaps him, and Orange Cassidy orange punches Matthew. Orange Cassidy and Trent hit strong 0 on Matthew, but Nicholas breaks the pin. Trent asks his mom for a kiss. It helps him fire up, but Matthew catapults Trent into the exposed turnbuckle. Matthew covers, grabs some tights, and gets the 1, 2, 3. The Young Bucks advance in the tournament. Orange Cassidy picks up Trent. They're in the ring with Chucky T. They all go for their patented best friends hug. Woo, but
You got to
Trent,
give the people what they want.
Trent gives OC a running knee. Wow, he finally got the turn. I like it. But Chucky T like kind of gives a blank stare to Trent. Like you don't know. Was he in on it? Was he not? I like that.
I think he just can't act that well because I thought he was trying to be sad, but it didn't really pan out. But I thought this match was a lot of fun. I've been pretty negative of the best friends, but of course, if they're in the ring with the Bucks right now, of course I'm gonna love it because the Bucks just get up to so many shenanigans. I loved it. One thing that because we all know this Trent turn's been coming, but they announced on commentary when they were going to the ring, they said Trent gets his mean streak from his mom. And I was like, mean streak, huh? I know he's a little bit heely these days, but is this it? And it was. I loved there was a little bit where Excalibur was talking about and he called him Nick, and then he went, I mean Nicholas. And Taz just went, get your names right, Excalibur. God damn it. This is professional. He's like, be professional. I just thought that was so funny. Like you said, I loved Matthew telling them to go to ad break. And then when they were in the ad break, he was like, is it up here? Is this where the ad is? I thought that was really funny. And then I loved it when they had Orange Cassidy down for the EVP trigger, but they started going for lazy kicks.
That was awesome.
That. I loved that so much. And then when he kicked, I think it was Nicholas, he kicked Trent, he kicked OC. Right. I said Nicholas. He went to the outside, kicked Chucky, and I was in my head, I was like, he's going to kick Sue. And he went for it, and I was like, oh my God, this is the best match of all time. Of course he didn't, but I was so into this stupid match. I had so much fun. And yeah, I mean, Bucks winning are the right call. My thing is like, I have a feeling they might give it to FTR in the end, which I really don't want. Because the interesting here is like the Bucks have completely changed their gimmicks. They're entertaining. They could do a heel stable, holds all the gold. Whereas you got FTR, and they're just going to do what they've done since 2014. So,
don't talk about my family.
Oh, I'm top guys out. We're going to go bleed in the ring and have a 45-minute boring match, brother.
Bret Hart.
I love Bret Hart. I love CM Punk. Don't drive next to me or else I'll shoot you. I mean, that's a legend. What did you think about the? Okay, another thing I really liked was I think Nicholas went over and spit on like Orange, who was on the apron for no reason. And I always call him Billy Corgan because he looks like it, but the ref just went, "When did you do that? When did you do that?" So this whole match, I loved the hell out of it. So that's how I felt. How'd you feel?
Love him.
How'd you feel, Chad?
It's everything you said, man. It was great. Like the Bucks for me can do no wrong. They had that like little moment where they seemed a little bit checked out, but this version I think has probably been my all-time favorite version of the Bucks. It's just like they've made so many cool changes, like their in-ring and their acting, and oh yeah, so fun. Yeah, for me the lazy kicks from the EVP trigger was probably my thing. It was my Intuit TurboTax move of the night.
Yeah.
It was great. And yeah, having them go over, having the turn, I think for me that the whole segment was probably my high for the night.
Dude, it rocked. Dude, even the crowd didn't see that turn coming. Like everyone was just like, wow.
It
Like,
was done really well. For someone who's like, oh yeah, Trent's gonna turn on this match, I still didn't expect it. I was like, oh, that was out of nowhere. So I'll give him credit for that. Even though I
Yeah,
knew it was
the turn
coming.
was coming. I thought it'd be after the hug. And so yeah, that was like, whoa, that escalated quickly.
yeah, it was great. Like the Bucks are killing it right now. Uh yeah, like all of us, we weren't really sure at first when they came back. But then that Sting Darby feud really heated up and they got in their groove and they are plowing right now.
Yeah. That's
They're
why
cooking.
that's why I think they need to win this tournament, because I think it'd be the most interesting team to win this tournament. Because if FTR
Yeah,
wins
who's
it,
left? Yeah, who's left now?
FTR and Top Flight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Top Flight's fun to watch, but they need some like work on their character work.
His character
Eh,
is he's back, and he's been back for months. So what does
Mm.
that tell you?
Yeah, FTR's meh meh.
I wouldn't even say they need to change. It's not right. They're not doing anything exciting right now. The last time they were interesting was when Daniel Garcia was around, and look where he's at now. I think I can say they bungled Garcia. I think I can say that because he hasn't been around for a while.
Yeah.
Mm. Wow. Ugh.
Garcia needs to pop up as a surprise for the Cope Open and maybe get the surprise win. That'd be dope.
I'd love it.
Ooh.
I'd love it, but they're
And then
not.
he could turn around and be like, I'm back. And then pie face Darius Martin.
Ooh, that's the guy who's back. But they announced the Cope Open ahead of time. We know who's fighting next week.
Yeah.
Who is it?
Penta.
And
Yeah, Penta. I got that
Okay.
here. I forgot.
Like Penta's one of those. We're kind of jumping the gun here because that was right before the main event. But Penta's definitely one of those guys where I always forget about them just because I never knew him before AEW. But whenever it's like, oh, Penta's going to be involved, I'm interested. I'm always interested when Penta's involved. He's so much fun. He's so great to watch. I wish there was more for him, but it's kind of, I wouldn't say bloated, but it's a heavy roster right now.
yeah.
There's a lot of new faces that they want to push, but
Yeah, and I think he's just kind of spinning his wheels until Ray comes back too.
oh yeah, Ray's been injured still.
Yeah.
Hmm. I like the Death Triangle. You
Oof,
guys aren't
that
into
was
it. Or you are,
great.
Chad?
Oh, that was a great faction. Yeah.
That was Lucha Bros and Pac, right?
Yeah.
How could
Yeah,
you not like that? That sounds like a great
dude.
faction.
When they were feuding with Eddie and uh man, who was he with? Proud and Powerful or something
Yeah.
like that. Uh yeah, good stuff. But yeah, we got a women's main event on Dynamite tonight. That's almost as good as 3 segments, huh? Uh Mariah May versus Thunder Rosa. The winner will be facing Tony Storm at Dynasty for the AEW Women's World Championship. Uh, man, Thunder Rosa, I liked her look. I liked the way her hair was straightened and that all like I didn't like the curly all over the place.
Yeah.
That
No, it had
didn't
a
suit her well
very
for
professional athlete look. Like she looks like a
yes.
professional fighter.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Her ring gear was awesome. I don't know if that was maybe a Wolverine thing. I don't know what she was going for there, but it was good. But yeah, Thunder Rosa started off really aggressive from the get-go. Mariah May also very aggressive. Mariah May gives Thunder Rosa a hip attack and a really hard drop kick, covers for 2. May goes for a power bomb on the floor, but Rosa counters into a tiaras. They both slap each other over and over. Then Rosa gives Mariah May a release German suplex, covers for 2. Toni Storm is worried. So yeah, we got to talk about Toni Storm real quick. Good Lord. You probably might have had some of this stuff written down, but
Tag me in.
Oh, he wants the
we
hot tag.
we get her telling poor Tony Schiavone, who lost his family dog, I'm sorry you lost your dog, but we've got Thunder Rosa to watch. Oh my God. Then
You bitch.
Then we got her saying she forgot to wear undergarments, so the underdesk camera shouldn't be
Yeah, make sure not to cut to the underdesk camera.
for the guys in the back.
You're missing the best part, which is anytime Mariah May was somewhat on the down low, she would go, wrestle harder. Come on, wrestle harder, my dear. You're missing the best part of this whole thing. And then when Mariah May was definitely in trouble, she said, this chair is going to need to be reupholstered because I'm not going to pay for it, but it's getting bad. So, but obviously she said it in her way. So this whole, and this is why I loved this segment so much. Sorry to cut to the end. She was so goofy and funny. Like, she was on top. I was like, we haven't gotten this Toni Storm in like a month or so. Like, she's been silly, sure, but we haven't gotten commentary Toni Storm. I love it. And then her selling of Thunder Rosa winning.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Good juxtaposition.
Yeah. She didn't say anything. She looked genuinely scared. She didn't move. I was scared for Toni because I love her so much. I was like, no way.
I thought she was like snapping out of it.
Really?
Like, that's what I got out of that. Like, oh, she's like, wait a minute, this is real life, like.
Well, what's interesting is I don't know if they've mentioned it, and I'm sure they will in the lead up. I just don't know if they mentioned it yet. When Thunder Rosa got injured way back when, Toni Storm was the interim women's champion, or was so Toni Storm was the one way back when who first won the title from her. So I'm getting really interested in this match already. Like, way more than the TBS title picture. And then poor Deonna Purrazzo was just left in the dust. Like, she was in that tag match, and then Thunder Rosa got the pin, and Deonna Purrazzo doesn't exist anymore. Oh, well.
Yeah. No, either outcome for this match is interesting. If May wins, does she get the title shot?
Yeah.
That'd be awesome too.
Well,
either way, we win.
This is what was annoying me, because I said it on commentary. Thunder Rosa's 1 in the women's rankings. Mariah May is 2. So they're going to have 1 and 2 wrestle each other so that they can find someone to fight Toni Storm. So that was the whole crux of this match, was number 1 and number 2 are going to fight for who gets the women's title at Dynasty. So why did Monet just get the title shot at Double or Nothing?
Because she called next.
Can I just call next? Okay.
By
I
the
get
laws
the winner
of
serving
dibs.
Double or Nothing. I call next. Book it, Tony.
Yeah. That actually really all she need to do is just like run up to the title and lick it, then it's hers.
Oh, I didn't think of that.
My germs.
Sorry to go on a rant there, because I loved this match and I loved this finish. And it's like, why is this being booked well? This doesn't have the new star.
Mariah May looked really good in this
Yeah.
match too, man. Like,
Yeah, I
but
don't
we
know,
cannot.
because people keep saying like, yeah, the eventual winner is gonna be May, like they'll take it off of her, and it was like, really, is Rosa gonna lose?
I'm okay with that.
I think May is all in because she's from London. So you still have like
Okay.
4 months to tell that story. You have Tony Storm getting through Dynasty, Tony Storm getting through Double or Nothing, and I think right after then you can start really sowing seeds and having Mariah May come up more. Like, I'm enjoying this slow burn. I really am.
No, it's probably their best women's storyline yet.
True. And we can't forget Tony Storm saying that Mariah May reminds her of a younger Tony Storm, and Thunder Rosa reminds her of an older Thunder Rosa.
There was another line where Tony Storm was like, "So she's from the what, like the graveyards of Nicaragua or whatever." Like,
Tijuana.
Tijuana. She's from the gravestones of Tijuana. No wonder she's so ghastly. Like,
That
she was on.
explains her complexion.
She was so fucking funny this week. I'm sorry for swearing.
Too
It was
good.
so
Dude, she's too
funny.
good. Too good. Yep. I want her to have that belt until All In. Please and thank you. Yeah. Book it.
I think for me, Takeshita, Swerve, Tony. I think that's my top 3 right now in
Nice.
AEW.
She bumped Joe.
Yeah. I love Joe, but I don't know what they're going to do with Joe after he loses the title, if I'm being honest with you. I love him, but I think Tony Storm is just so much more dynamic right now. And
Yeah. Even if she loses the title, she'll still be relevant.
Except for the one weird segment they had last week where it felt like, oh, we just had some old footage and we had to get Tony Storm on the show. I've loved every single Tony Storm segment since I started watching AEW. Every single one. So yeah, I think she is my third favorite right now.
Yeah, and it's funny how like she gets away with saying some pretty cheeky stuff. Like just something about like her gimmick and her accent and all that. It's like, oh, you like I'm pretty sure if she wanted to drop the C bomb, she could probably do it and get away with it.
Just let them know ahead of time and they'll bleep it out. That's how The Rock gets away with it. Tony Storm is.
Didn't she say she was gonna like hit somebody in the box once? Or
I think she's like, I'll sock your box to Deonna Purrazzo. Oh, if we go back and like think about all the shit Tony Storm has said, we would have like so many quotes from her.
A wart on my bum hole.
She's the best.
Something like that. Oh my god.
I changed my mind. She should never lose the title. I'm going Bob Holly to catch the booking with Tony Storm. You win the title and beat everyone, and then what? I still beat him.
Yeah, good stuff. Love Tony Storm. Then we get Penta, like we talked about, calling out Adam Copeland for the TNT title for the Cope Opened. Then we get our Joe and Swerve contract signing. Joe and Swerve come to the ring. Joe signs the contract, and then he says to Swerve, the truth is, signing that contract is a big mistake. Doom and destruction. Career-defining mistake to get in the ring with me. He said he will leave him mentally scarred like he left P. Diddy's party too late. Swerve says he's wanted this moment all his life and didn't believe it was possible. He said the destination has been filled with long road of obstacles. He puts over signings like Osprey, Okada, and Monet. And then we get really loud MJF chants.
I thought
Like,
that was
really
pretty cool. I don't know why. I just thought that was pretty cool. Like, we know he's still around, except for Chad,
Yep.
but
Yep.
Mark my
I was like,
words. This
I was
Sunday.
thinking, yeah, I'm thinking in my head like, ooh, maybe MJF heard it and that'll make him stay.
Well, I keep on, you think about like little things you've seen. It was the one when MJF was like rampant on finding out who the devil was, and he started accusing Hangman and Swerve of it. And we were like, we weren't thinking of Hangman or Swerve, but this is so much more interesting because it's not just, oh, they might be in the Double Dumpling Gang, but we're going to get MJF Swerve. We're going to get MJF Page down the line. And so I'm still waiting for that match. I still think it'd be a banger.
MJF has a story to finish himself.
The AEW MJF left 4 months ago is not the AEW that's there now. It is not like dramatically different, but just with the roster, it's way different. So there's so many more interesting matches he can do. There's so many more storylines that have opened up. So I think I'm definitely on that. I want MJF. I hope that story of him re-signing for 3 years is true, because I think he could have a really good run in AEW, and then when he's a little bit older, then when he goes to WWE, because he's going to go to WWE at some point, just not now. I think he should have more time in AEW.
Then Swerve says, this championship is bigger than both of us. You are the definition of a killer, but so am I. He says, I will show you that I am every bit of that man. Run the fade on that, bitch. They come to blows. Swerve gets the chain around Joe, but Joe gets control and wraps the chain around his fist and pummels Swerve into a bloody pulp. Swerve grabs the mic as Joe walks off and he laughs. He said, I love this shit. If that's all you got, I'm taking your championship from you. Man. He signs the contract in his own blood, wipes it on it. Joe runs back in to finish the job. He low blows Swerve and then Uranagi's him through the table. Oh, it looked good. And he holds the belt up high above Swerve. Then Joe walks off. End of show. Man, yeah, that last segment moved me. Woo!
Yeah. Been ready for the Swerve title win since the Continental Classic, so I can't wait for it. And I think he sold himself excellently here. I think Joe kept himself well. I buy both men. I love both men. And of course, the little bit at the end where I wasn't expecting it, but him laughing and being like, if that's all you got, I'm beating you. And then he signed it in his own blood. I thought contract signings were washed, and then they just let these two do it.
Yeah. I actually, in my notes, the second line just says, this is a trope I wish would go away. Then, like 2 lines later, okay, this one was pretty cool.
Never mind. They can stay for now.
Yeah. I know. Originally, to pop Chandler, I was gonna shout, "Mom, I want to see The Rock and Cody beatdown." Well, we've got the Temu version of that for you, but this was so good.
It was good in its own right. It was good in its own right.
Yeah, I loved it. Lots of blood. Man, the image of Joe just punching him over and over in that corner, it looked good.
Yeah, without the chain, Joe's punches always look amazing. With the chain, I was like, "Oh my god, this looks like a snuff film now."
Yeah. Yeah, good stuff. I guess now looking back on it, I'm gonna let Chandler sway me a little bit on the Jay White Billy Gunn match. It was fine. It wasn't as bad as I initially
Sports
thought of it.
entertaining. Sports entertaining, and that's all I'll say.
I just wanted them to hit that move on the table.
Yeah, but they're heels. You're gonna get it at the pay-per-view.
It's like somebody interrupting the Shield power bomb. It's just like, I really wanted to see it.
Yeah, no one ever really did that, so that's a fair point. was that your segue to highs and lows for the evening?
Yeah. Uh, the exact moment of Swerve laughing as Joe walks away was my highlight. Like, made me have shivers. Uh, Low point, uh, not being able to do the move on Jay White, as like I talked about. How about you guys?
My high point, I kind of shouted that out earlier, was EVPs versus best friends. Just the whole segment, I loved it. It was great. Low point, shoot. I don't want to shit on Jay White Billy Gunn anymore now, but I'm still calling it that. That's the best. Yeah.
That's fair. For me, I'm gonna go with my low point first because I'm still kind of debating on my high point. It was a promo that I felt was unnecessary, didn't make anyone look good. It didn't make me look interested in any matches, and that's the Jericho and Hook promo, baby. I just thought it was dumb, and it could have been. It was the backstage segment they had like a week ago, but then Jericho just went, "Are you sure?" And Hook went, "Yeah," and that was it. So that was my low point, and my high point. I want to give it to the Billy Gunn Jay White thing so bad, like that where Jay White got his intro and Billy Gunn
How
attacked him.
dare you, sir?
I'm not gonna. I'm gonna give it to Tony Storm selling of Thunder Rosa winning because that was actually my favorite thing on this entire show. I like. I'm thinking about that now, and I loved that so much. So getting it to that. But yeah, it was I think honestly, I like going into this, I was like, this Dynamite was okay. But now that we've reviewed it, I actually really liked this Dynamite. I had fun the entire time, except
Yeah.
for maybe the opening.
Yeah, I feel like they've been doing a much better job of focusing on selling those pay-per-views now. Like the stories feel compelling. I'm always feeling excited for the next pay-per-view. Thankfully we've had a good couple months for this one too. Like it's a long enough wait. I feel like towards the end of the year it was pay-per-view, pay-per-view, pay-per-view. Like it was almost too like a little too quick between them. This feels like a good pace for me. So yeah, all in all, yeah, I think they're figuring it out again.
Yeah.
Okay. Um, do you either of you have the Dynasty card handy? I know we got Joe Swerve,
I know
Tony Storm, Thunder
no,
Rosa,
but I'm sure we could
Bryan
remember it.
Danielson,
Osprey,
and
Willow and
Osprey,
Julia.
Willow
The
Julia.
tag team finals, so Young Bucks versus Top Flight or FTR.
A match I'm not expecting to be that amazing, but I'm sure it probably will be, is that uh trios match with Copeland, Kingston,
Oh,
and
I
Mark
already forgot about
Briscoe
that.
versus House of Black. That'll be a sleeper match, I'm sure.
Why are they doing that? We never watched. We didn't review Collision, so we never really talked about it. Why aren't they
Mhm.
doing like Copeland versus Malachi for the title? Like, why is
Right?
it? Why is it a trios? Is it because are they gonna pin like Kingston or Briscoe so that House of Black doesn't have to lose? I hate to be cynical, but like,
Yeah.
is that what they're
Yeah.
going with?
Yeah, I mean those are both viable pin eaters.
Yeah. Yeah, they are. Well, there is like a side part to it. Kingston and Mark Briscoe are challenging for the Ring of Honor title too. So there's like a little wrinkle in that. So maybe by the time Dynasty happens, they hate each other, you know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
I would actually be pretty okay if Mark Briscoe won that Ring of Honor title. It's kind of like Jay White, where do I want him to win a Ring of Honor world title? No. But being that that's the best he's getting right now, am I fine with it? Yeah. Like, I'm torn. But the Bang Bang Gang are probably going to win the Trios title at Dynasty. That's a match I would think is going to happen. And I would definitely have the Bang Bang Gang win that. because I don't know. I think they need the momentum. I think Acclaimed and Billy Gunn are kind of they're at their end of their rope with their gimmick. Like, you know, I don't think there's much else they can do anymore.
Yeah. Looking forward to Dynasty. Should be a great show. But yeah, I think that might wrap it up for our Dynamite review. We're gonna have a WrestleMania 40 prediction coming your way. We're actually gonna record that right after this. And yeah, make sure to check that out. Also, don't forget to elbow drop that like button, power bomb that subscribe button, and leave us a comment. We'd love to get back with you and answer any questions you have on the show. Don't forget, we're on the audio realm, anywhere you can find podcasts, Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, all the usual suspects. Yeah, enjoy that. Check us out. And yeah, unless you two have anything else to add, I think that'll do it for the show.
Make sure to check out our short form content too. We upload plenty of top fives. We missed this week, but make sure to check out the WWE cap that Chad and I do.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Well, I figure like our Mania predictions probably will make up for that.
Yeah. We'll be talking about plenty of WWE here in 20 minutes, so we're good.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Thank you very much, Chad, Chandler. Love having you on the show. This is so cool that we get to do this. This is a real treat. But yeah, thank you all for watching out there, and check us out. We've got plenty of content out there for you to enjoy. That'll do it. Thank you very much. Bye.
Peace.
Bye-bye.